If you haven't had an opportunity to watch Insidious Chapter 3, stop listening now. Major spoilers, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another hit on our hands. I think that people of many ages, from 13 and above, will enjoy this film, okay? Insidious Chapter 3 came out today, June 5th, 2015. I went to the 9:30 showing yesterday, June 4th, 2015, and I had a blast. I mean, I screamed like crazy, and it was absolutely nuts, man. To be honest, it was pandemonium, okay? Because people were running out of the theater, okay? We had like 4 people running out of the theater. We had people throw popcorn, like jump so hard that popcorn like flies in the air. Someone dropped their drink. Someone screamed in my ear and almost like just destroyed my eardrum. And I almost lost my wallet, okay? Let me start there. The ending of the movie is so terrifying that I jumped and kicked my feet so violently that my wallet flew and landed behind the seat of the person in front of me. And as I was leaving the theater, I started checking my pockets, and I said, yo, where's my wallet? I was like, what the hell? I got my keys, I had my gum, I had everything. I had my hat, I had my cameras, but I didn't have my wallet, man. So it took me about 10 minutes to find the wallet before I started panicking, thinking that I either dropped it in the restroom or dropped it on the way into the building after I purchased my my ticket at the box office. I was in absolute like panic mode, and then I found it. It was laying on the floor, man. This is a PG-13 movie, so with school ending, you're going to see a lot of teenagers in there, and I think that if you go with a big audience, a large audience, if you don't have anyone to go with, that's going to help you out a lot. Do not go see this movie by yourself if you are afraid and terrified, just like I am. Okay, rating for the movie, 8 out of 10 stars. As far as the Insidious franchise, I have to put this in the number 2 spot. The number 2 spot, and the reason why is because Insidious number 1, okay, that came out on April 1st, 2011. Insidious Chapter 2 came out on September 13th, 2013, and obviously June 5th, 2015, okay? This is 4 or 5 years later, depending on if you're looking at the production date or the date created, but you're looking at a franchise that is 5 years old, and it still has hit after hit, okay? It's not like the Paranormal Activity franchise that just, for some reason, gets worse and worse and worse. I remember when I watched Blair Witch Project, and you can say what you want about Blair Witch, but Blair Witch was one of those shows or movies that was, you know, ahead of its time and, you know, started a lot of this horror genres, man. Whenever the camera is looking at the girl in the corner, and it wouldn't move, and then the camera drops and all that stuff happens, you know, at the end of that movie, during that scene, I remember, like, my stomach was just in knots, and I couldn't go to sleep, man. That's what Insidious does for me, man. The last time that I felt that way was, honestly, during the Blair Witch Project. I'm trying to think of any other film genre besides The Conjuring that does this sort of thing, man, and I cannot find it. So here's my thing. I want to see The Conjuring Part 2. I really want to see that. I want to see Insidious Chapter 4. I think that the ending gave us a introduction to Chapter 4, and I'm hoping, man, I really hoping that this works, man. Now, here's what is very interesting. I completely forgot, because I guess I just wasn't tracking on this movie. This movie is a prequel. It is set before the haunting of the Lambert family. So Insidious 2011, and the Chapter 2, Insidious, 2013, they come after Insidious Chapter 3, 2015. So I'm going to actually sit down and watch Insidious with the lights on and wait till it's daytime, and I'll sit down and watch Insidious Chapter 2. Now, here's the thing. I didn't watch Insidious before I went to go see Chapter 3, but I did watch the end of Insidious Chapter 2, just the ending right after the Lambert family, you know, kind of faded into to white, and then we had the new family being introduced, and then you see Elise, the older lady, that is the Elise Rainier, and you see her looking over the head of the girl, and she's like, "Oh my God, you know, what am I seeing?" I was wondering what she saw, and what you see is, I'm not going to spoil it, okay? Go see the movie. But that was perfect for me, man, because I was like, that's what got me. And I said, when I watched chapter 2, I said, I got to see Insidious chapter 3. When I got home, I wrote that down. I said, go see Insidious chapter 3. That's on one of your like most anticipated movie lists. You're going to put that on a high note. And I love everything about it. I think that they did a really good job. You will notice that there's two characters at the end of Insidious chapter 3. You will recognize them from Insidious and Insidious 2. All the characters inside of Insidious chapter 3 are recognizable inside of Insidious and Insidious chapter 2. What I'm trying to say is that if we're talking about a shared movie universe, if we're talking about this cinematic universe thing that these superheroes movies do, from Batman v Superman, Man of Steel, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, with the Avengers and Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and all this other stuff. Paranormal Activity and Insidious, I think that those are part of those shared universes. I think that we should give them a little bit of those credit for being so brilliant at allowing, the people that are fans of the genre and fans of the franchise to say, oh, hey, that's the lady. Oh my gosh, that's the face. Oh, wow, that's that dude. Yeah, and you say to yourself, wow, okay, that's the red door. Okay, well, this is the smoke room. Okay, well, this is the lantern. There's the light again. We know about the light in the darkness. All that stuff connected, man, and I thought that they did a really good job, man. Now, let me move over to just a couple of items that I did not like, and I thought they were kind of like, forgive me, I thought they were uncalled for. Number one, WWE inside of Insidious Chapter 3. There's no reason ever to have a wrestling match, a pushing match, a shoving match with a demon or entity. I thought it would have been a lot more believable that a living character would have more, I guess you can say, superpowers, more, I don't know, supernatural powers, I guess you can say. The dead, the undead, the demons, they should have the power of the touch. But the person that's living should be able to push them away with just, their might. I thought that was kind of weird to see her. I mean, she did some kind of move where she opened up the ground. That was dope. But running up and literally, like, it was like Power Rangers, like, go, Power Rangers! Hey, Super Mega Morphin Morty Zord, we're heading out now! And then it looked like they were running in slow motion, and she was like, ah! And then they collided with each other, but it was like an old, how do you want to say, like an old hospital demon, and then you push the demon and it barely budged because, I don't know, you're like 60, 70 years old, so you're too old to have any strength in your arms. And it just kind of tripped me out, man, because they actually filmed that. That was in there. And I'm telling you, man, the whole theater busted out laughing. Well, first I laughed, and after that they started laughing because it was just one of those ridiculous things. Like, you don't push a demon. You just don't. I don't know. At that point I said, okay, you're down to 9. So there was one other part, and this one's going to make me laugh. I'm trying not to. But you don't give your character broken legs and a neck brace. Those are two items that you do not give your character. Number one, we're not inside of Jean-Claude Van Damme's Kickboxer, okay? So whenever a demon kicks off their leg cast, like, I don't know, there's some, I don't know, Ronda Rousey on fucking MMA, it's ridiculous, okay? Do not do that. Number two, don't ever have your main character get dropped on the floor and hurt her neck, and in the next scene, you have a close-up of her neck brace. It just looks horrible. You could have got a different, I don't know, like some kind of different material to utilize. I'm pretty sure in 2015, we can go away from the, I don't know, 1991, 92, 93 football injury, the last Boy Scout, neck brace. That's just, it's not good, man. It reminded me something off of Happy Gilmore or something. It doesn't make any sense. Just don't do that, all right? So, in closing, don't kick Don't have your extra or your main character have leg braces, and then after that, a cast on, and then kick her cast off. It was stupid. I mean, yes, we know that she wasn't in the cast that long. You should have just had her kick it off, and then, I don't know, have her walk on her bones, and maybe her bones should have broken. They should have probably popped or broken like right as soon as she started walking. That would have been more believable. It was just weird. It was one of those weird moments, man. Let me see. What I love the most about it, I guess the second thing I love, third thing I guess you could say, is the ending. It didn't end like Insidious and Insidious #1 and Insidious Chapter 2. The title Insidious Chapter 3 was at the end of the movie, and then also at the very, very end of the movie. The score was perfect. It's scary as hell. I really love how they did that, and I'm glad that I stayed to the end, to the very, very end, because I wanted to see, since I kind of said, dang, this is a prequel, and I didn't know it until the end of the movie. I said to myself, I want to see what they did with the score this time, and I think they did a good job. So we're going to move from here over to another podcast, and we'll review the actual movie. And yeah, what'd you guys think, man, of Insidious Chapter 3? And I'm out of here, man. Thanks again for listening. Comment, like, subscribe, share this video, and Redder.